This is Outnumbered. I'm Kaylee McEnany here with my co-host Emily Campagno. Also joining us, Fox Business anchor and co-host of The Bottom Line, Dagan McDowell. Fox News contributor and editor-in-chief at The Federalist, Molly Hemingway. And Fox News contributor and assistant editor of the Wall Street Journal editorial page, James Freeman. We begin with the Biden administration in damage control mode after the families of 13 fallen service members demanded answers about our botched withdrawal from Afghanistan. It's hard to believe, but it's been nearly 2 years since that lone suicide bomber attacked a crowded airport in Afghanistan's city of Kabul at the Abbey Gates. The terror attack claimed the lives of over 150 Afghan civilians, as well as 13 United States service members tasked with aiding the evacuation efforts on the ground. You're looking at them now, heroes, all of them. Since then, the families of those fallen heroes have been demanding accountability from the Biden administration. They've questioned the Pentagon's choices made in the withdrawal and blasted President Biden. Many parents still don't have a clear understanding of their child's final moments. Now, for the very first time, those Gold Star families are publicly speaking about their heartbreaking search for answers.
The last day I see my son, it was March of 2021. He was leaving for his last deployment in the Jordan. And I remember, like it was yesterday, he's standing outside the door and he hugged me and he said, "Mom, if I don't come back." And I said, "Shut up, you're gonna come back." And then he said, "No, Mom, if I don't come back, I want you to keep telling my story. I will fight until my last breath to get to the truth."
We were told lies, given incomplete reports, incorrect reports, total disrespect. All I wanted to know where my kid was, where he fell, how long did he last, did he fight? I was told to my face he died on impact. That's not true.
When Joe Biden, our elected president, entered the room, when he approached me, his words to me were, my wife Jill and I know how you feel. We lost our son as well and brought him home in a flag-draped coffin." My heart started beating faster, and I started shaking, knowing that their son died from cancer and they were able to be by his side. Also wondering how someone could honestly, be so heartless to say he knew how I felt a little over 24 hours and learning of my son's death.
I'm calling out Secretary Blinken, Secretary Austin, General Milley, General McKenzie, Lieutenant Colonel Whitehead, who could not give the order to the snipers to take out the bomber before he detonated his vest, and ultimately the president. Do what our son did. Be a grown man. Admit to your mistakes. Learn from them so that this doesn't happen ever again. You all need to resign immediately.
You know, Dagan, to the point of the media, I started flipping back and forth between channels because I thought, what could be more important than hearing from these families? Well, they found a lot of more important things to cover on MSNBC and CNN. Watch.
Trump's threats are raising concerns already about the safety of the judge in the January 6th case.
Is the concern here that Donald Trump will share evidence that should not be shared publicly?
The question never crossed my mind: who paid for Clarence Thomas's motorhome?
Governor DeSantis fighting his own battle to convince voters and donors that he has a shot at beating Mr. Trump.
The very company that helped make remote work possible during the pandemic is telling its own employees, you got to come back to the office.
That was what was more important.
Yeah, this exemplifies, though, how the media has brushed off and glossed over the absolute debacle that was the Afghanistan withdrawal for the last 2 years. And the American people know better. Joe Biden's approval rating has been underwater since that very moment.